Super Gypsy says, this sounds interesting, hashtag ad. Yeah, that's right. I just hashtag added talking about, 10-year-old CRPG that I've loved and how the endings of that could be influenced in this one. Because that's what they pay me for. They paid me to play that one too and then make the connection and talk about the lore. So it was a very targeted advertisement. Great job, Obsidian. That was smart. Okay.
Perhaps there is hope.
It has nothing to do with me liking it or enjoying the lore.
You have read the Book of Verses, and we are here
paycheck.
together, if only briefly. In this moment,
brother.
we are not entirely
Cohh's paid off by
alone.
Big CRPG. I am. I'd love to be. If Big CRPG is out there, like, come find me, please. I'm looking for an expedition of my countrymen. They pass this way.
An expedition? I'm afraid I don't understand.
A bunch of people?
An expedition?
Yeah.
You know, treasure maps, matching outfits, campfire songs, the works.
I am familiar with the concept, tomb raiding and the like.
Yes.
What troubles me
that's
is why
right,
they would
yeah.
come here. These ruins are not so different from the many others on this island, except that they are a good deal more treacherous. And this representation of Aethys we stand before, it is the work of my own hands. They could not hope to move it. Do you know what their purpose is here?
Do you really expect me to believe that you haven't seen them? There's only one way through this place.
It's a reasonable question, I'll grant you. You must understand, this place has seen so few visitors for
Bro, are
so
you
long
crazy?
that Well, I often retreat into my private quarters. To read, you understand, or pray, or sleep. Age has made me slow. I tire easily. I sleep now more hours than I wake.
You're an old person.
They could have
I get
already
it.
come and gone, and I would be none the wiser.
I don't know, man. That sounds
In
very
any
sus.
case, you haven't told me what
Are we
it
gonna
was
find
they
their
searched
bodies?
for. Or do you not know?
See, like, at this point, I don't know if I want to tell him. I'm sussed out. I have been sussed. Okay, I'm going to lie to him. I have no idea. And I wonder if he's going to be like, oh, I know you know. And now that you lied to me, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
That is a shame. Without knowing more, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Although, perhaps you might assist me with something.
Okay.
If you're about to ask us to tidy up, think again. My place is a much bigger mess.
Oh no.
I'm digging all the Garrus
I
one-liners.
had something
This is good.
far grander in mind.
To be fair, though,
You
it's
see,
never going to beat that
this
line when we were
construction
talking to that first
beside us
NPC.
is no mere statue, but a reliquary I have built to house the splinter of Aethys in its appropriate grandeur.
Oh.
It is nearly complete, and ready for the splinter to be interred. But I can no longer reach the relic on my own. Return it to me, and who knows, perhaps you will meet your expedition along the way.
I'll be back before you can say 10 praise Aethys.
I am most grateful.
Okay.
Oh, and please refrain from touching my statue or devices. May light illuminate your path, brother.
This is interesting. I feel like we could go a couple different directions with this, but I'm very curious. Dude, that looks like a robot. Am I going to fight that thing? Is he building an Aethys mech? What's going to be really funny is if it turns out that he's trying to rebuild the Jade statue from 2.
Leave those be. They protect my devices.
Mechothos. That's right. Exactly. Okay, before we go in there, let's look all around here. I want to see this thing, man. Hey, Renea, how are you? Okay, that is not an internment device. That is a freaking engine, and that thing is plugged into Adra, which is, yeah, no, bro, you're building a mech. Like, what are you doing? What is going on here? He is gone, but he's still with me. What form should a relic? He's trying to build Aethys? Granite from the tallest peaks, clay from the fertile riverbeds, and trunk from the most aged trees. I must work without ceasing until it's done. The memory of my lord cannot endure delay. I thought at first a sanctuary would be appropriate, a temple within the temple of the godless. But when I prayed over my plans for the building's construction, I received a vision of Aethys' Titan as it existed in its time. A body of strange flesh and bone, hundreds of feet tall, astride the land with the Pantheon at his side, facing down the forces of chaos like elven colossal ships of the line. What crisis manifested then and inspired them to act? I do not know, but I shall remake him as he was in my own fashion. Bro, what are you doing? I think this man has gone crazy. Okay, this man has gone crazy. Now how are we gonna deal with this situation? Oh! An actual thing in a box. 2 things in a box! What is this, my birthday? Damn. Alright. What is this? Oh! Whoops, no. I have made a huge mistake. Maybe. Bro, what is this? Oh, great. There we go. Perfect. Okay. St. Widewind pursed his lips and stared down the glowing, glowering visage which peered at him between stalks of Vorlis. He gripped the wooden shaft of his scythe, slick with sweat from his palms, the hands of a working man, which he was. Then you're Aethys, then, he said. That I am, said the god. That you already know what I want, said the farmer, who is Widewind. That I do. Oh, dude. This is all PoE1. That's super cool. Good lore connections. Saint Widewind, farmer become god. While the mention of his name Widewind, most folks think of only one word, Godhammer. Oh, man. I wonder if these books were in the other games. This is essentially the events like right before PoE1 started. The Godhammer was all PoE1. I need to play that game again, dude. It's been way too long. It's such a cool concept for a game. Okay. Man, the music here is fantastic. How do I live if there's no consolation? When he left the world, I was emptied of divinity. I am a slave now to desire for it. I am unmoored from space and time. I am a body persisting until it's gone. Nothing. Is that what he wanted me to become? Yeah, dude. He's a godless that has no... Or he's a godkin. Oh, Lord. That has no god, basically. Like, that's wild. Godlike, yeah. A Godito. Godora. Godawada Ding Dong, I believe is the exact pronunciation. Oh.
This guy has a lot of lore stuff to tell you. I talked to him for like 40 minutes. Try talking to him again. I choose different talking points than you did. I went from 4 to 1.
I am glad to see you again. To what do I owe the pleasure of your return, brother?
I heard there was a Temple of Aethys in this cave.
Be welcome, for you have found it. People like you and I once sought this place in moments of spiritual turmoil, when the world and our souls could not find rest. moments of war, famine, massacres, when those such as us are called upon to speak the gods' wills and to lead. But I have seen not one of us these last 3 years, and it is rare indeed that pilgrims come to pray. Perhaps our meeting now is the work of immortal hands. I pray that it is so.
Paulo Kotu on YouTube. PoE 2 is Pillars of Eternity 2 in this framework. Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 are 2 fantastic Obsidian RPGs. So yeah. Why would godlikes visit this temple and not the temple of their patron god?
Godlike. Such a meager word for us, who are the gods' eyes and ears and hearts. We are the phenomena through which the gods experience the world. We are as like the gods as a finger is like a man. You and I and our raptured brethren, we are the gods themselves.
That's all very poetic, but it doesn't answer the question. Is this place special to godlikes?
It had been once, when we were legion, but no longer. Our kind came here to find fellowship and understanding, in a world determined to bend us to its purposes.
Kato says, why do people say CRPG lately? It's just computer RPG. No, seems like an unnecessary specification. Kato, I have an entire video on this, but CRPG has actually been a term since Baldur's Gate 1 and Fallout. If you've only heard it recently, that is more because they've become more popular. We're actually seeing a resurgence of CRPGs, especially since Baldur's Gate 3, since Owlcat's Pathfinder Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous, and now 40K. So if you've heard it recently, that's one thing, but CRPG has actually been around since like the 80s. Yeah, it started meaning computer RPG, but these days it means more classic style RPG or classic RPG, which is a more direct connection from like the pen and paper roots that they had. But now the term now means more a type of game. It's just a genre identifier. It's not, it has a history from where it came from, but it doesn't necessarily mean exactly what it does when it was made. Yeah. It's kind of like the term isometric. Isometric is a specific term that meant one thing, but is used for a lot of things. It's kind of like indie is another good example. MMO is another good example. They're rooted with specific definitions, but these days they mean something totally different. Let's see. I wonder what the purpose the Emperor had in naming me his envoy.
This is a heavy burden you carry. To be
Cohh
beloved
RPG
of
is what
both
they
a
really
god
mean. Yep, games
and
that
a
Cohh
god
likes,
among men.
that are RPGs.
I imagine one
Hey,
cannot
Breath Edge,
help
what's up,
but
buddy?
wonder. Did he elevate you for your skills and knowledge, your strengths, your accomplishments, or for what you are? You and I are instruments of a divine will. In choosing you to be his envoy, your emperor ennobles his purpose and tarnishes yours.
Appreciate it, Warwith. Thanks, buddy. Love the name, by the way. You really are godlike.
I am as you are, though I do not care for the word. Aethys the Dawn Treader is my lord and patron. If you will forgive me saying so, I am surprised to meet you here. Even before the vanishing of our kind, it had been some years since a child of Galawain came to speak with me. And I have never seen a member of the Lord of the Hunt's coterie whose visage resembles yours.
That's because I'm not a godlike of Galawain.
Ah, of course. I should not have assumed. I have had the great privilege to speak with thousands of our kind during my long life. And you do not resemble a single one of them. But if not Galawain, I cannot imagine who else among the Pantheon might have blessed you.
My parents took me to every temple in High Crown, but none of the gods claim me.
It was good of them to do that for you. Whether they are exposed on the cliffside or drowned in the bath, many of us have not known such kindness. May I ask, as a god's child, Did your earthly parents love you?
Oh. They revered me. It was different from love. I believe they cared for me in their way.
Even many kith
Yeah, I like that.
untouched by gods are not so lucky.
Did you build this statue?
Indeed. It has been my obsession these last few years. Hewn by my own hands from stone in Ardra, and no small degree of melancholy. I suspect it will be my last great labor before this body is returned to the earth, and I am returned to my god.
Are you dying?
If I am, it is from an affliction that death will not cure. But no, brother, I am only very old. My light is waning. As Aethys' essence leaves the world, I am leaving with him. His essence has kept me alive for centuries, and soon we will enter the longest night.
I gotta say, man, I am not only interested in knowing what ending PoE 2 took, but I am very interested to know how this game is gonna end. Like, I wonder, there's so many different ways they could go with this. Like, are we gonna try to bring the gods back? Are we gonna try to make the world understand that they're gone? Are we gonna usher in a new pantheon? Like, this is as a PoE fan, this is very cool. Why did the gods vanish godlikes from the world?
There are many theories, which the holy and learned of Eora have only just begun to argue. But you did not ask me for theories. Frankly, I do not know for certain. However,
Hey, Susie.
I believe the gods are preparing for war.
A war against each other?
A war of all against all.
Oh, God.
A struggle between destiny and design. Who yokes the soul of the world? Whose machinations turn the wheel? Who acts, and whom is acted upon? That is the ultimate power, brother. The only power there is to decide the fate of another, and to make it so.
Jeez.
For so long as we have lived, it is the gods who have decided for us. But change is possible, if we are brave enough to want it. And Kith have lately grown very brave indeed.
You mentioned you're very old.
Indeed, my soul has dwelled in this form for centuries, beyond even the lifespan of the...
Can I just say how much I love this? The first thing in chat,
I like this guy.
the literal next line in chat.
This guy is such a dick.
The line after that.
This guy seems pretty chill.
And then the line after that.
Some Cardassians dude and Solas are such crazy pulls lol.
Okay.
longest
Awesome.
lived elf. My lord Aethys inspired my birth in the same year the kingdom of Adir was founded. You might say my birth heralded the empire you now serve.
That was over 600 years ago.
About 630, yes, give or take a
Bro,
decade.
you are old.
One does lose count.
I bet. You must have witnessed some unbelievable things.
Many, yes. Some that inspired awe, others dread. For a time, I proselytized among the colonists who first settled Eir Glanfath. I held the door of my parish church against an onslaught of Glanfathan raiders, and I watched them fall prostrate before my light. I tended the wounded in the Broken Stone War, the War of Black Trees, the War of Defiance, and in many wars that were never given the dignity of a name. and since have been forgotten.
Mm.
I can hardly recall them anymore.
CZ James, so is the critique regarding the characters not being really characters, but mainly just means for exposition and lore dumps valid in your opinion? Here's what I'll say in my 7 hours so far. I felt in Dragon Age Veilguard that they were almost disrespecting the lore in how little it meant to the characters and the world, and how little it meant to the stories and what they were telling. I feel very much the opposite with this game. I feel like in this game, the devs are trying really hard to make this game feel like Pillars of Eternity. I feel like they're really trying to show the player, not only do we get what happened, but let's make sure you understand what happened. And I, from my personal perspective, strongly prefer this. Strongly. This makes me feel immersed. This makes me feel like the games I played in the past were like meaningful. The voice acting so far has been good enough to where I don't feel like they're just, I don't feel like I'm in a class. So it's been really good so far. A big schism. Do I think it's too much? I don't know yet, because I haven't played enough of the main story to know if it's gonna like get in the way. But what I will say is that I have loved how much lore is in this game so far. I'm also I'm a CRPG nerd. I play these games for this kind of lore. This is why I play the games, is for all this awesome, like, you're reading a book style stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with it. Yep. By the way, I see a lot of people referring to Skill Up. Let me just say this right now. I really enjoy Skill Up reviews, but I disagree with his opinions more than I agree with them. So it's fine to like be like, well, Skill Up said this. Just to be clear, I disagree with his opinions more than I agree with them. So a lot of times, because he said something, I will generally feel the opposite of how he felt. So just keep that in mind. And that goes honestly kind of for anyone. Like, I don't really care how other people feel about a game. I don't care what they're saying about the game. Like, we have a very specific flavor we enjoy and like here, and I try to make that very clear when I'm talking about my thoughts and stuff. That's just my flavor. But yeah, it's you know, like, that's I love well-made reviews that give you all the facts. And that's one of the reasons I watch Skill Up, is because I feel like he gives the facts and then he gives his opinion. I just generally disagree with the opinion. So, but I love the other parts. Whenever I don't generally watch his videos until I'm done with the game, though. So yeah. But yeah, just for the record, when people say that stuff in chat, that doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't take that as anything. Yeah. Okay. You spent a long time in the Deerwood. What made you stay?
The Deerwood has been a troubled place since the very moment of its inception. Conflicts erupted as regularly as spring flowers, to bloom and die as swiftly. So, there is always some dark corner in need of light, if you'll indulge me in the metaphor.
Nah, I put that game down.
Truthfully, I had been jailed for proselytizing in Colklin, and it was to the colonies I was exiled. So it was the Deerwood or death. I had nowhere else to go.
Oh, is Breath Edge a VIP? Oh my, we're gonna do something about that. Did you ever meet St. Widewin?
Is that what they're calling him now? I heard the man that was Widewin speak when he was but a farmer. He had a presence even then, furious, incandescent. It was astonishing, his power. I wonder, had my lord already made a home in his body by then? Did my lord share with Widewin his plans to wage a pointless, bloody war while wearing the poor man's face?
What
a grave injustice. To have your body stolen and be made into a saint. Tragic Widewin. Pitiable Widewin. I grieve for what became of him.
Wait a second. That doesn't line up. That doesn't line up at all. Kim Stockholm, no thanks. That's why is he talking about Aethos choosing a guy? Is he jealous? Is he super jelly? Is he like, Weidman sucked. It should have been me. Like, I think, yeah. Do you wish it had been you who had been made a saint?
God help me. I do.
There it is. Okay. I love it. He doesn't even try to hide it. He's like, yeah, obviously. Obviously I wish it was me. Come on, man, look at me. So why haven't you died yet?
That is a question for my lord. I have asked him many times, but even when he spoke to me, he would not say. I suspect it is his essence that has kept me alive, and now that he has abandoned this world, well, I soon expect to die.
Oh. Wait, he talked to you? Breath Edge, I see your message, and cool. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Okay.
In prayer, in dreams, as I ate and loved and labored, his voice was a constant murmuring in my ear. But when I spoke to him, he never did reply. So, do not mistake his talking for a conversation. He only wanted to be heard.
Are you afraid to die? This seems kind of a deep question to ask. Let's see.
Not anymore.
Oh. Why would you tell me all this?
Because you are my brother. And I want someone to know.
I've been hearing a voice in my head since I arrived on this island. Could it be my god?
I suppose it's not impossible, but the gods typically make themselves known to us in our earliest days, before we have left the comfort of the womb. They are present in our hearts and mind before, well, before we even have a notion of I at all. I am sorry. Yours is an unusual case. Tell me, this voice in your head, do you want it to be your god?
It would be a relief to finally know who I am.
I am afraid that not even your god may tell you that.
Rude.
Answering that question is the soul's true purpose.
Bling Man still yapping?
Bling Man do be yappin' though. He do be. Yeah, he do.
It is the work of your life. And I suspect neither you nor I will ever know for certain. We can only remain open to curiosity and willing to be surprised.
If it's not my god, I don't know what else it could be.
Other than a symptom of madness, you mean?
Yes.
You do not seem
That's
especially
yes.
troubled. No more than any kith subject to life's uncertainties. As to what the voice is, if it is unlikely to be a god, I cannot say. It may be a particularly powerful soul attempting to control you, or the echoes of a past life. Perhaps it is the sending of an archmage, or some ancient construct of Engwithin make. Or it may just be the beginnings of the Dream Scourge. Whatever this voice is, I suspect only an expert in souls can say.
You know, that's a really good point I hadn't considered. Like, I wonder. I mean, obviously we're godlike.
Of course.
So,
Explore to your heart's content.
I don't know about this.
But please refrain from touching my statue or devices. Go in peace. I will be here if you return.
One sec, chat. I think. Oh no! Man, I had the craving for this like one specific place, and they're freaking closed on Monday. How you gonna be closed on Monday? How you gonna be closed on Monday? It's a weekday. Bam. Touch the statue? Oh, we're gonna touch that thing so hard you have no idea. But we're gonna check this out first, because I have a feeling these guys are gonna be dead in here. Oh, what?